There are moments in life when the world feels heavy, when our hearts long for rest, and when the noise of each day seems impossible to silence. It is in these quiet, vulnerable moments that the Word of God becomes not only a source of wisdom, but a refuge, a shelter for the weary soul. Tonight, as you prepare to enter a time of guided meditation, I invite you to release the weight of your thoughts and open yourself to the comfort of Psalm 23. Begin by finding a comfortable position. Perhaps you are lying in bed, ready to drift into the peace of sleep, or maybe you are seated in a quiet space where distractions have faded into the background. Wherever you are, allow your body to rest naturally. Feel your shoulders gently drop away from your ears. Notice how your hands soften, unclenching from the tension of the day. Slowly take in a deep, steady breath. Hold it for a moment and then exhale, letting everything heavy within you begin to melt away. This is your sacred time, your meeting with this shepherd of your soul. Close your eyes if you have not already. With each breath, let the rhythm of life slow down. Inhale peace. Exhale stress. Inhale comfort. Exhale fear. Inhale His presence. Exhale all that is not meant for you to carry as you settle deeper into stillness. Imagine that you are stepping into a timeless sanctuary, not a building of stone, but a space woven from light and calm. Here, there are no demands, no voices calling your name, no pressures waiting to be resolved. Only presence, only rest, only God. It is in this sanctuary that we now open our hearts to the psalm that has comforted countless generations. These words have been whispered at night by the broken-hearted, recited at gravesides where tears fall freely, and proclaimed with joy in times of thanksgiving. They are words of assurance, of belonging, of divine companionship. And tonight, they are words for you. Listen now, not simply with your mind, but with your heart. As we receive the entirety of Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me. Thy rod and Thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Pause for a moment and let those words settle in your spirit. Notice how your heart responds, perhaps with relief, perhaps with longing, perhaps with gratitude. Each line carries its own promise, each phrase a window into the character of God. The psalm begins with perhaps the most profound assurance. The Lord is my shepherd. These words are not abstract. They are not distant. They are deeply personal. The Lord, the Creator of all, the one who holds the universe together, calls Himself your shepherd. He does not stand afar, indifferent to your needs. He draws near, walking alongside you, guiding you, protecting you, feeding your spirit, and carrying you when you are weak. Let this thought sink in. You are not wandering alone. You are not left to navigate life's wilderness by your own strength. You have a shepherd, and because of him, you lack nothing that is truly essential for your soul. Now, take another slow breath. As you breathe, imagine the words of the psalm filling your inner being, like water soaking into dry ground. Picture them taking root in the soil of your heart, preparing to bloom into peace, confidence, and trust. In this meditation, we will walk through Psalm 23 line by line, like travelers guided along a sacred path. With each verse, we will pause to reflect, to pray, and to rest in its meaning. Just as sheep follow the voice of their shepherd step by step, so too we will allow each phrase to guide us into deeper stillness, deeper trust, and deeper communion with God. You do not need to strive. You do not need to force your thoughts into place. Simply allow the Spirit to carry you gently. As you listen, let each word be like a drop of living water falling upon your soul, washing away anxiety, fear, and exhaustion. Perhaps today has been long. Perhaps your heart has carried hidden burdens, unspoken worries, or memories that still weigh heavy. Here, in this sacred beginning, allow yourself to lay them down. Picture a staff in the shepherd's hand. Imagine him extending that staff to you, not in judgment, but in invitation. Come, rest. Follow me. Let go. Every breath you take is now an act of trust. With each exhale, you release what you cannot control. With each inhale, you receive the peace of God that passes all understanding. The psalm has been read in full, but its richness has only just begun to unfold. Over the coming moments, we will enter its depths one verse at a time. Each line will become a doorway to prayer, to meditation, to quiet encounter with the shepherd of your soul. As we begin this journey, set your heart in readiness. Know that you are seen. Know that you are loved. Know that you are safe. Psalm 23 is not only a chapter in Scripture. It is a song for the weary, a lullaby for the restless, and a promise for the faithful. It will carry you gently, like a stream carrying leaves downstream, until you find yourself at rest in the arms of your shepherd. So, beloved soul, let us walk together into this meditation. Let us release what is behind us. Let us enter the pasture of God's presence. Let us listen, breathe, and rest. The Lord is here. The shepherd calls your name. The journey begins now. The words echo softly in the silence of your heart. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. They rise like a gentle dawn, filling the landscape of your spirit with light and warmth. These words are not a theory. They are not a lofty idea. They are a declaration and anchor for the soul, a reminder that no matter what you face, no matter how empty you feel, there is one who ensures that you lack nothing of eternal value. Pause here. Whisper those words slowly, letting each one sink to your being. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Notice the shift within you. The world is filled with voices that tell you what you lack. Advertisements promise happiness if only you had more. Social comparisons remind you of what you do not possess. Life's struggles sometimes convince you that you are incomplete, unworthy, or alone. Yet the psalm speaks against all these voices. It calls you into a different reality. You already have what you need, because the shepherd himself is with you. Imagine now the figure of the shepherd, strong yet gentle, walking beside you in the stillness of the night. His presence is not hurried. He is not distracted. His eyes rest upon you with a gaze that is both tender and unshakably steady. He knows the path ahead. He has walked it before you. And he knows your needs before you even speak them. Take a slow, deep breath. As you inhale, picture yourself leaning into his care. As you exhale, release the worry that tells you you are lacking. Let go of the fear that you are forgotten. Allow trust to grow where anxiety once ruled. Say within your heart, Lord, you are my shepherd. In you, I lack nothing. This is not a denial of your earthly needs. It is not a dismissal of your struggles. Rather, it is a declaration that beneath every circumstance, beneath every season of plenty or scarcity, there is an unchanging truth. The shepherd provides. He provides strength when you are weary, peace when you are restless, courage when you are afraid, comfort when you are broken, and direction when you are lost. Think back for a moment to a time when you felt provided for in unexpected ways. Perhaps it was a moment when peace washed over you, even though the situation had not changed. Perhaps it was when a friend appeared with encouragement, just when you were at your lowest. Or perhaps it was when you realized that what you feared you could not endure, you in fact did endure, because God carried you. These are glimpses of the shepherd's care. They are reminders that he never leaves you without what you truly need. Now, let us pray together in this quiet meditation. Shepherd of my soul, I turn my eyes to you. I confess that so often I believe the lie that I am lacking, that I am incomplete, that I must strive endlessly to be whole. But tonight, I lay those lies down. I choose to trust that with you, I lack nothing. You are my provider, my guide, my protector, and my friend. Teach me to rest in your sufficiency. Let my soul release its hunger for what does not last, and instead feast upon your love that never fails. Rest in that prayer for a moment. Feel the weight of striving fall from your chest. Imagine your heart becoming lighter, freer, as if chains you did not even realize you carried are being unfastened. There is a deep freedom in trusting the shepherd. Sheep do not lie awake, worrying about tomorrow's grass. They do not fear that the shepherd will forget them or abandon them. Their trust is simple, steady, and complete. So too is the invitation for you. To walk with God is to learn the art of releasing fear, of letting go of the constant grasping for more, and instead embracing the assurance that what you need, He will provide. Repeat this truth softly to yourself. I have what I need. The shepherd provides. Perhaps as you meditate, your mind begins to wander toward specific needs, financial concerns, relational wounds, health challenges, uncertainties about the future. Instead of resisting these thoughts, place them gently in the shepherd's hands. Picture yourself laying them one by one into his open palms. See him receive them, not with impatience, but with compassion. As each burden leaves your grasp, feel your soul growing lighter, steadier, freer to breathe. He whispers over you, I am your shepherd. I will not leave you. I will not fail you. You lack nothing, for I am with you. Let those words wash over your spirit like gentle rain. Let them seep into the soil of your being. Stay here for a while, simply resting, simply trusting, simply breathing in His presence. In this trust, your heart begins to find rest. You realize that even if the circumstances of your life do not change immediately, something within you already has. Where there was fear, there is now calm. Where there was scarcity, there is now abundance. Where there was doubt, there is now trust. The shepherd has spoken. The shepherd is near. And because He is near, you lack nothing. Before we move forward, allow this meditation to settle fully into your heart. Take another slow breath, and as you do, whisper these words aloud or within. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Say it again, more slowly this time, like a lullaby to your soul. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Let the words linger. Let them become not only a statement of faith, but also a resting place for your weary heart. Now, beloved soul, we will journey deeper. From trust, we will be led into rest. From the assurance that the shepherd provides, we will step into the green pastures He has prepared. Your heart has been steadied. Your faith has been renewed. And now the shepherd gently calls you forward. Come, lie down in the pastures of my peace. And so, with trust as our foundation, we move into the next verse. A shepherd has spoken, and your heart has begun to trust. From that trust, He now leads you gently into rest. The psalm continues with these tender words. He makes me lie down in green pastures. Pause and let the image unfold in your mind. A vast meadow stretches before you, lush and alive, its grass soft and inviting under the glow of a gentle sun. The air carries the fragrance of earth and wildflowers, mingling with a breeze that cools and soothes. Here there is no rush, no demand, no shadow pressing against you. Only peace, only stillness, only the presence of the shepherd who has led you to this place. Notice that the verse does not say, He asks me to lie down, or He suggests that I rest. It says, He makes me lie down. This is the insistence of love. The shepherd knows your need for rest better than you do. He knows how often you resist it, how often you carry burdens long past the point of exhaustion, how often you choose striving over stillness. And so, with firm gentleness, He brings you to the green pasture and bids you to rest. Allow yourself, in this moment, to accept His invitation. Take a deep, steady breath, and as you exhale, imagine laying yourself down upon the meadow. The grass bends softly beneath you, forming a cradle of comfort. Above, the sky opens wide, free of storm or shadow, its blue stretching endlessly. You are safe here. You are held here. You are allowed to rest. Close your eyes in the meadow of your imagination. Feel how your body naturally sinks into the ground, every muscle letting go of its tension. Your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, and a profound calm begins to wash over you. Whisper softly in prayer, Lord, teach me to rest in you. Help me release my need to control. Help me lay down in the green pastures of your peace. Rest is more than sleep. It is surrender. It is the soul's way of saying, I trust you enough to stop striving. I believe you are caring for me, even when I am not working, not planning, not holding everything together. Consider how rare true rest is in our lives. We rest when our bodies collapse, when our strength runs out, but the shepherd invites us to rest before we are empty. He invites us to lie down, not because we have no choice, but because he knows this is where we are healed, restored, and renewed. Now, take a moment to listen within yourself. What burdens are you still holding? What thoughts keep circling in your mind, refusing to let go? Imagine placing them down in the grass beside you. See them sink in the earth, no longer weighing on your chest. Each one is released, each one surrendered into the keeping of the shepherd. As you rest, imagine his presence near. The shepherd sits beside you, watchful, protective, never turning away. He is your guard, your comfort, your constant. Because he watches, you can rest. Because he stands, you may lie down. There is no danger here that he has not already seen, no enemy that he has not already accounted for. The pasture is safe because he is near. Allow yourself now to drift into silence. Hear the sound of the meadow around you, the rustle of grass swaying with the wind, the distant call of a bird, the soft hum of creation at peace. Let these sounds soothe you, like a gentle lullaby written by the Creator himself. Inhale again, deeply. Feel the breath expand your lungs, carrying life and renewal into every part of you. Exhale slowly, and with that breath, release the weight of exhaustion, the tightness of worry, the restlessness that clings to you. Repeat this rhythm of breathing, each cycle carrying you deeper into rest. Let us pray. Good Shepherd, you lead me to rest when I would not choose it myself. You lay me down in green pastures, places of beauty, safety, and peace. Tonight, I surrender to your care. I release my striving, my need to control, and I rest in the assurance that you are watching over me. Let my soul be restored in this sacred pasture. Let my body breathe freely. Let my spirit know that I am safe in you. Stay here for a moment in silence, letting that prayer sink in. Feel the pasture becoming more real, as if the boundary between imagination and spirit has dissolved. You are there. You are lying down. You are at peace. Consider what this verse reveals about God's character. He is not a taskmaster demanding unending labor. He is not indifferent to your fatigue. He is a shepherd who insists upon your rest because he delights in your well-being. He knows that rest is not weakness, but strength, not laziness, but renewal. When you resist rest in your life, when you push yourself beyond what you were made to carry, remember this truth. The shepherd makes you lie down, not out of frustration, but out of love. His green pastures are gifts, invitations to breathe, to release, to recover. Now, picture yourself slowly drifting into sleep upon this pasture. The sun warms your skin. The breeze cools your face. The shepherd's shadow covers you like a blanket, shielding you from harm. Every worry fades into the distance, until only peace remains. Repeat once more within your heart, "He makes me lie down in green pastures." Let that phrase carry you deeper, like a gentle song that rocks you into surrender. With every repetition, feel your soul yielding more fully to the shepherd's care. Rest now. Breathe now. Trust now. The shepherd has brought you here. You are safe in his pasture. You are wrapped in his peace. And as the verse closes, you are ready to be led further toward still waters, toward healing, toward the fullness of his restoration. But for this moment, remain here. Remain in the pasture. Remain in the rest that only the shepherd can give. The meadow has held you in its peace. The soft grass beneath you has taught your body to release tension, and the presence of the shepherd has wrapped you in safety. Now gently, he extends his hand once more. He does not rush. His voice is calm, steady, like a melody you already know deep within your spirit. "Come," he whispers. "Walk with me. There is more I have prepared for you." You rise slowly, your body unburdened, your soul lighter than before. The shepherd leads you forward, away from the pasture and along a path worn smooth by his steps. You do not ask where he is taking you, for trust has already begun to grow within you. Instead, you simply follow, step by step, breath by breath. As you walk, you hear it before you see it, the sound of water, not the roar of a rushing river, not the crashing of waves against stone, but something gentler, a steady rhythm, soft and constant, like a heartbeat pulsing through creation itself. And then you see it, a stream, its waters clear as crystal, flowing with calm certainty. It does not rage. It does not demand attention. It simply moves quietly, faithfully, bringing life to everything it touches. The shepherd gestures toward it, and you understand. He leads me beside still waters. Pause here. Breathe deeply. Imagine kneeling at the edge of that water. See your reflection upon its surface, not distorted, not restless, but clear and whole. The water invites you closer. Its stillness mirrors the stillness that God longs to cultivate within. You doubt how often our souls resemble troubled seas waves crashing, winds howling, storms rising without warning. Fear, worry, regret, and busyness stir the waters of our hearts until they are clouded, restless, and unsafe. Yet the shepherd does not leave us in that storm. He leads us to still waters, to the calm that heals, to the peace that restores. Take a slow breath, and as you exhale, imagine the storm within you beginning to quiet. The anxious thoughts that churn like waves begin to settle. The fears that howl like winds begin to fade. In their place comes silence. In their place comes peace. Whisper in prayer, "Lord, lead me to your still waters. Quiet my mind. Calm my heart. Let me drink deeply of your peace." Now, imagine yourself reaching into the stream. Cup your hands, dip them into the coolness, and lift the water to your lips. Drink slowly. Taste the freshness, the purity. Feel it flowing through you, refreshing every part of your being. This is more than water. It is living water. It is the Spirit of God, quenching your thirst, healing your weariness, restoring your soul. Let this prayer rise. Shepherd of my soul, you know how easily my heart becomes restless. You know the storms I face, the noise I cannot silence, the fears that steal my breath. Tonight, I come to your waters. I drink deeply of your peace. Let it wash through me. Let it cleanse my mind. Let it heal my spirit. Lead me always beside these still waters, where I may remember that you are my source, my calm, my healer. Stay here a moment. Listen to the gentle sound of the water flowing. Allow it to become the rhythm of your breath. Inhale peace. Exhale fear. Inhale healing. Exhale pain. Inhale life. Exhale weariness. Every breath draws you deeper into serenity. The shepherd sits beside you. His presence is steady as the stream itself. He does not speak many words, for none are needed. His silence is not absence, but comfort. His nearness tells you all you need to know. You are safe. You are loved. You are whole. Consider the healing nature of water. It washes away dirt. It cleanses wounds. It refreshes parched throats. It renews what is dry and dying. So too does the Spirit of God cleanse the places within you that feel broken, stained, or weary. Let Him wash you now. Imagine His peace flowing over your thoughts, your memories, your scars. See them being cleansed, softened, healed. Perhaps there is pain you have carried for too long. Perhaps there are regrets that return again and again, like restless waves. Bring them to the stream. Lay them in the water and watch as the current carries them away. They no longer belong to you. They no longer define you. The shepherd has given you peace. Instead, rest in this truth. God does not only offer you survival, He offers you serenity. He does not only pull you from storms, He places you beside still waters. He does not only remove your fear, He replaces it with healing calm. Sit with that truth. Let it settle into your heart as gently as the stream settles into its banks. When you are ready, lift your eyes. Notice how the landscape around the stream flourishes. Trees bend low to sip from its waters. Flowers bloom with radiant color. Birds come to rest in its branches, singing freely. Everything touched by the still waters comes alive. So it is with your soul. When you remain by His stream, when you allow His Spirit to flow through you, life flourishes again. Hope grows. Joy returns. Strength renews. You become like the tree planted by streams of water, bearing fruit in season, leaves that do not wither. The shepherd looks upon you now with quiet satisfaction. He has led you here because He loves you. He delights in your healing. He rejoices in your peace. And He will not leave you. Before we move forward, whisper these words one last time. He leads me beside still waters. Say it slowly, letting each phrase wash over you. He leads me. You are not alone. You are guided. Beside still waters, not chaos, not fear, but calm and healing. Remain here a little longer in silence, listening to the waters, breathing in peace, knowing that the shepherd will lead you from here to even deeper restoration. For the song does not stop at still waters. It continues with the promise that He restores my soul. And so, when you are ready, rise from the banks of the stream. Your heart is calmer. Your spirit is lighter. Your soul is prepared. The shepherd smiles, and together you step forward into the promise of restoration. The waters grew still around you. The gentle current whispered peace into your being, and for a moment, it felt as though time itself had paused to cradle your weary heart. From the still waters, you rose renewed in breath, calmer in spirit, yet deep inside, a longing remained. There is more the shepherd offers, more than peace on the surface. There is healing that reaches down to the very roots of who you are. It is here that the song turns intimate, tender and profound. He restores my soul. What a short phrase, and yet within it, a depth of promise vast as the heavens. To restore is to bring back, to renew, to mend what has been torn, and revive what has been forgotten. The word does not imply something casual or momentary. It is the deliberate act of love from one who sees you as whole, even when you feel broken. Think of how life drains us. Every unkind word spoken against you, every fear that lingers unaddressed, every disappointment that silently erodes your hope, all of it wears away at the soul like water steadily shaping stone. Sometimes you may not even notice the erosion until you stop and realize how weary you truly are. The shepherd, in his tenderness, does not simply ask you to be strong or endure. He steps into the fragile places and restores. Restoration begins in a quiet surrender. As you sit in stillness, breathe deeply, slowly. With every exhale, imagine laying down the weight you have carried for far too long, the shame of past mistakes, the guilt of words unsaid, the fatigue of days when joy felt distant. Let those burdens roll off your shoulders, falling at the shepherd's feet. With every inhale, allow his breath of life to fill you, steady and soft, reviving what had grown faint within. Picture your soul as a once neglected garden. The soil is cracked, the leaves brittle, the flowers wilted. For years, perhaps, the rains have been sparse, and the roots nearly forgot what it meant to drink. And then rain comes. Gentle at first, then steady, life-giving. The earth sighs with relief as every drop penetrates, nourishing the hidden places. Slowly, tender shoots of green push through the soil, and color returns. So too is your soul under the shepherd's care. His love is the rain, his mercy the sunlight, his presence the gardener's hand that tends with patience. He does not despise the barren places within you. He sees them as the very ground where new life will grow. He restores your soul, not partially, not halfway, but fully, faithfully. Sometimes restoration means healing old wounds. Wounds of betrayal, wounds of rejection, wounds you tried to bury beneath busyness or silence. In His presence, those wounds are not ignored, but gently touched. Imagine Him kneeling beside you, not rushing your pain, but acknowledging it, holding it, and slowly replacing it with peace. You may resist at first. Healing can feel raw, but the shepherd is patient. He knows that every scar can become a testimony of grace. At other times, restoration means reviving joy where it had faded. Perhaps you have lived under the weight of routine, moving from one day to the next, numb to beauty. But He awakens the senses again. Suddenly, the sunrise feels brighter, music feels richer, laughter feels possible. What seemed ordinary begins to shimmer with divine presence. This too is restoration, not just mending what was broken, but awakening what had grown dormant. Now, close your eyes again and breathe. Hear the words echo gently in your heart. He restores my soul. Not He might restore. Not He restores if you are worthy. Simply, He restores. It is His nature to do so. Restoration is not a reward you earn, but a gift you receive. A gift poured into you because you are deeply loved. Let gratitude rise. Whisper softly, "Thank you, Shepherd, for restoring me." Let this thanksgiving wrap around you like a warm cloak. Feel the renewal settling deep within the clarity of mind, the lightness of spirit, the strength returning to your weary bones. This is not fleeting emotion. It is the gentle work of the divine reshaping you from within. Imagine now that your soul, once heavy, is like a clear pool of water. Storms once raged across its surface, churning it with confusion. But now the water grows calm, so still that it mirrors the sky. You look into its depths and see yourself not broken, not lost, but whole. This is who you are under the shepherd's care. This is the self He restores. Beloved, renewed, at peace. And so, with a quiet heart, you sit in the presence of restoration. You realize the shepherd is not rushing you forward. He is not impatient for you to be better or fixed. Instead, He is here, restoring in His perfect time, layer by layer, breath by breath. Like an artist restoring a painting dulled by dust, He carefully wipes away the grime to reveal the brilliance underneath. You are that masterpiece made in His image, and now restored in His love. Stay here for a while, resting in this reality. Do not force yourself to move too quickly. Allow the healing to continue even in silence. Each heartbeat, each breath is part of the restoration. You are not alone. You are seen, cherished, and renewed. He restores my soul. Let those words be the gentle refrain that carries you into the next step of your journey, stronger and lighter than before. Restoration comes gently, like morning light breaking over the horizon. Your soul, once weary, has been refreshed by the shepherd's hand. Peace has begun to settle, and strength has returned. Yet the psalm does not remain only in the quiet pastures or beside calm waters. It carries us forward into another reality of life, one we cannot avoid, the valley. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. These words are not poetic exaggeration. They speak to the truth we all know. Valleys are part of the journey. Life is not only mountaintops and open fields. It is also narrow paths where shadows loom and the air feels heavy. There are seasons when we are surrounded not by beauty, but by darkness, when every step forward feels uncertain. And yet this verse declares a courage that defies the valley itself. Close your eyes now and picture such a valley. The light of day fades as you enter. Tall cliffs rise around you, casting long shadows. A path narrows and silence grows thick. Perhaps you have walked this valley in your own life already. Maybe it was the valley of illness, when your body felt fragile and vulnerable. Maybe it was the valley of grief, when someone you loved was gone, and the world felt hollow. Or perhaps it was the valley of fear, when anxiety whispered unrelenting doubts into your mind. In those valleys, fear naturally awakens. Our hearts race, our minds imagine worst outcomes, and we feel exposed. Fear is, in essence, the absence of security. Yet in this psalm, the shepherd offers something extraordinary, a presence that turns fear into trust. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Let those words linger. The psalmist does not deny the valley, nor does he pretend the shadows are not real. He acknowledges them fully, yet he refuses to let fear rule. Why? Because the shepherd's presence is stronger than the darkness. Now breathe deeply. Imagine yourself walking through this valley. The air is cool. Shadows stretch across your path. You hear faint echoes, perhaps the rustle of unseen movement. Fear stirs. But then you sense it, a steady presence beside you. Not a distant observer, but someone walking step by step with you. The shepherd does not send you into the valley alone. He enters it with you. His rod and his staff are in his hands, symbols of both protection and guidance. The rod is his strength, reminder that no evil can overpower him. The staff is his gentleness curving to pull you back if you stray, keeping you close to his side. With ease, he guards your steps. With ease, he reassures your heart. Consider how different the valley feels now. The shadows have not disappeared, but they no longer control you. The danger may still exist, but the fear loses its grip. Why? Because you are not alone. Presence changes everything. When a child wakes in the night, frightened by the dark, it is not the absence of shadows that brings comfort. It is the presence of a loving parent. So too in your valley, the shepherd's presence is your comfort, your courage, your peace. Let your imagination walk further. With every step, you grow steadier. Where fear once gripped your chest, now peace steadies your breath. The valley becomes not a prison, but a passage, not a place to remain, but a path to walk through. Notice this truth. The psalm does not say, "If I walk through the valley," it says, "Even though I walk through the valley." The valley is not optional, but neither is it permanent. You are not meant to stay there. You are meant to pass through. As you meditate, bring to mind your own valley. What shadows surround you now? Name them quietly in your heart. Anxiety, grief, uncertainty, loneliness. Hold them before the shepherd, and then release the grip of fear. Whisper slowly, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Repeat it as a prayer, as a declaration, until the words no longer feel like mere phrases, but like truth pulsing within you. In this truth, courage rises. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward in spite of it, because trust has taken root. You may still hear the echo of shadows, but their power fades when your gaze rests on the shepherd. Now imagine the moment you step out of the valley. Light breaks across your path once again. You look back and realize the valley did not consume you. The shepherd never left you. Even in the deepest shadow, you were held. This realization becomes your strength for every valley yet to come. For you know now, wherever you walk, you are never alone. Let us linger in gratitude. Whisper again, thank you, shepherd, for being with me in the valley. Thank you for replacing fear with peace, shadows with your presence, weakness with courage. Sit with these words, allowing them to sink deep into your soul. Feel how they lighten your heart, how they anchor you in hope. The valley will come again, perhaps in different forms, but this truth will not change. You are with me. As this part of the meditation draws to a close, breathe slowly one more time. Inhale the assurance of His presence. Exhale the residue of fear. You are restored, not only in still waters, but in shadowed valleys. You are guided, not only in sunlight, but in darkness. And above all, you are never, ever abandoned. Even in the valley, you can rest in this. I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The valley lies behind you now. Though shadows pressed close, they did not overcome you. You walked through, steady and secure, because the shepherd never left your side. And now, as the psalm unfolds, the imagery shifts once again. No longer the valley of shadows, no longer the anxious path of survival. Suddenly, there is a table spread before you. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. This verse takes us into a place of abundance. But notice the tenderness of the phrasing. You prepare. The shepherd does not simply allow you to stumble upon provision. He personally prepares it. Imagine Him setting the table Himself, not hastily, not carelessly, but thoughtfully, with deep care for every detail. The very act of preparation speaks of intention. The shepherd delights to bless his children, and he does so not as an afterthought, but as a host welcoming a beloved guest. Close your eyes and picture the scene. You enter a wide, open hall. A table stretches before you, covered with abundant bread warm from the oven, fruit bursting with color, cups filled to the brim. The light glows warmly across the spread, and you feel both wonder and humility. This table is for you. And yet, the psalm tells us something astonishing. The table is prepared in the presence of my enemies. In other words, the blessing comes not when life is perfectly safe, not when all troubles have vanished, but right in the midst of conflict, in the very presence of opposition. Your enemies, whether literal or symbolic, stand nearby, yet they are powerless to disrupt the shepherd's feast. Fear whispers, but it cannot take away the abundance. Anxiety hovers, but it cannot remove the cup from your hand. Even in the presence of what threatens you, God's provision remains steady and sure. This image reminds us that peace is not the absence of hardship, but the presence of blessing that outshines it. You may have struggles, but you also have a shepherd who lays out grace in full view of those struggles. Your enemies may glare, but they cannot rob you of what he has prepared. Now imagine yourself sitting at this table. You take in the fragrance of the bread, the richness of the wine, the comfort of nourishment freely given. As you eat, you feel strength returning to your body, courage rekindled in your heart. The table becomes not just a meal, but a sign of belonging. You are welcome here. You are honored here. Then comes the next phrase. You anoint my head with oil. In the ancient world, anointing was an act of honor, blessing, and consecration. To anoint someone with oil was to mark them as chosen, favored, beloved. Imagine the shepherd leaning close, pouring fragrant oil over your head. The fragrance fills the air, and suddenly you realize you are not just a guest, you are cherished. This is not a casual meal. This is a celebration of who you are in his sight. Let your heart rest in that truth. Too often, the world tries to define you by failure, by weakness, by what you lack. But the shepherd defines you differently. He anoints you. He calls you beloved, chosen, worthy of honor. This is restoration at its deepest, to see yourself not through the eyes of fear or shame, but through the eyes of the one who delights in you. And then, my cup overflows, not barely filled, not half empty, but overflowing. The imagery here is abundance beyond need. The shepherd does not ration out blessings sparingly. He pours until the cup cannot contain it all. Imagine holding a cup as the wine spills over, running down the sides, a picture of generosity that knows no limits. In meditation, reflect on your own life. Can you recall the moments when blessings overflowed unexpectedly? Perhaps it was a kindness given when you least expected it, or a provision that arrived just in time, or the quiet joy of knowing you were not alone. These are glimpses of the shepherd's abundance, reminders that his care goes far beyond survival. It extends into joy, delight, and overflow. Breathe deeply as you dwell here. Inhale gratitude. Exhale worry. Whisper quietly. You prepare a table for me. You anoint me. My cup overflows. Repeat the words, not as a distant truth, but as a personal reality. Let gratitude expand in your chest like light filling a dark room. Notice, too, the intimacy of this part of the song. In the earlier verses, the shepherd is described in the third person. He makes me lie down. He leads me. He restores my soul. But here, the psalmist shifts. You prepare. You anoint. My cup overflows. The language moves closer, more personal. It is no longer about talking about God. It is about talking to him. The shepherd is not distant. He is here, face to face, host to guest, father to child. Stay with that intimacy. Speak to him now in your own heart. Thank him for the table he prepares, for the anointing that marks you as his, for the cup that never runs dry. The table is not only nourishment, it is communion. It is a place where you are seen, known, loved, and celebrated. As this meditation deepens, consider the enemies that still linger around you. They may be fear, doubt, insecurity, or the memory of pain. And yet, look again at the table. Do you see how their presence cannot stop the feast? They can only watch as the shepherd honors you. What once terrified you now stands powerless in the presence of his blessing. End this time by resting in the abundance. Imagine leaning back in your chair at the table, satisfied, at peace. The shepherd stands nearby, watching with joy as you partake in all he has given. The enemies fade into the background. The only reality that matters now is this: you are beloved, blessed, overflowing. And with that truth etched into your soul, you are ready to take the next step of the song, the promise of goodness, mercy, and everlasting dwelling in his house. But for now, sit a little longer at the table. Rest, eat, be filled. You prepare a table before me. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. This is abundance. This is blessing. This is love poured out without measure. There comes a point in every meditation where the soul, having traveled through valleys and green pastures, having drunk from still waters, and tasted the restoring presence of the shepherd, finds itself standing before a final promise, a promise not bound by circumstance, but eternal in its reach. It is here, at the closing verse of Psalm 23, that we encounter words radiant with assurance. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. These words are not tentative. They are not whispered with hesitation. They are spoken with unwavering certainty. Surely, this is not the language of doubt, but of deep trust. It is the confidence of one who has walked with the shepherd, who has seen his faithfulness in the quiet and in the storm. When David penned these words, he was not imagining a life free of hardship, nor was he pretending that sorrow and trial vanish from the path of those who believe. Instead, he was proclaiming something greater, that even in the midst of shadows, two companions never leave goodness and mercy. Let us pause here. Goodness and mercy are not merely abstract concepts. They are living realities of God's presence. Goodness speaks of the blessings, the gifts, the divine kindness woven into each day, sometimes seen in obvious ways, sometimes hidden like treasure beneath the soil. Mercy, on the other hand, is the unrelenting compassion of God, his willingness to forgive, to embrace, to withhold judgment where judgment could fall. Together, they form a pair of gentle guardians, following close behind, ensuring that no step is ever taken outside the reach of his love. Close your eyes and imagine for a moment your own journey. Think back to times when you felt alone, perhaps even abandoned, and yet looking now with clearer sight, you realize there were threads of goodness stitched into those days, mercies carrying you quietly forward. You may not have seen them then, but now they appear as undeniable markers of divine care. Perhaps it was a kind word from a stranger, a door unexpectedly opened, a strength you did not know you possessed. These were not accidents. They were the shepherd's companions, pursuing you faithfully. Take a deep breath. Let that truth sink in. Goodness and mercy are not occasional visitors. They are constant followers. Wherever you go, they go. When you stumble, mercy is there to lift you. When you rise, goodness is there to surround you. When night falls, they keep watch. When morning dawns, they walk beside you. There is nowhere you can travel into joy or into grief, into success or into failure, where they will not be at your heels, steady and unrelenting. And this promise stretches across time, all the days of my life. Not just the bright days filled with laughter, not just the days of answered prayer and obvious blessings, but also the days when tears blur your vision and your heart feels heavy. Even then, goodness and mercy follow. This is the kind of promise that steadies a weary soul, the kind that allows you to rest your head on the pillow at night, knowing you are never forsaken. But the verse does not end there. Beyond the days of this life lies a horizon that never fades, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is not simply about heaven as a far-off place, but about abiding in God's presence, both now and eternally. To dwell is more than to visit. It is to remain, to belong, to be at home. In the shepherd's house, you are not a guest who overstays their welcome. You are family. You belong to him, and his presence is your dwelling place. Picture it for a moment. A home where fear no longer exists, where sorrow cannot enter, where love is the air you breathe. In that eternal dwelling, the shepherd himself welcomes you, not as a stranger, but as one he has guided all along. Every step of your journey through green pastures, through valleys, beside still waters, has been leading here to his everlasting embrace. And yet, even now, you can taste this dwelling. Every time you turn your heart toward God in prayer, every time you rest in his peace, you are dwelling in his house. The fullness awaits, but the foretaste is already yours. This realization transforms how you live today. You no longer walk as one uncertain of the future, but as one who knows the ending. Eternal belonging, eternal love. Take a slow breath and whisper to your own heart, "Surely goodness and mercy follow me. Surely I dwell in his house." Feel how these words wrap around your spirit like a blanket, soft yet unshakable. They are not just verses on a page. They are life-giving truth. Now, let us tie this promise to rest. As you prepare for sleep, consider how these words form a gentle covering over your night. Goodness and mercy do not pause when your eyes close. They stand guard, one on each side, as you drift into rest. The shepherd watches over his dwelling, and since you are his, you are kept safe. Even your dreams fall within his care. Imagine yourself lying down, not just in a physical bed, but in the eternal house of the Lord. The roof above you is his love. The walls around you are his faithfulness. The floor beneath you is his strength. No fear can enter. No anxiety can remain. You are at home. You are safe. You are his dot as this meditation draws to a close. Let gratitude rise like incense. Thank him for the goodness that has followed you, seen and unseen. Thank Him for the mercy that has forgiven you, lifted you, embraced you. Thank Him for the home that is both present and future, a dwelling that cannot be shaken by time or circumstance. And as you breathe one final deep breath before sleep, rest in this assurance: you are never alone. You are never without care. The Shepherd's goodness and mercy are with you tonight, tomorrow, and forever. And when your earthly days are done, you will wake in the everlasting dawn of His house, where love reigns eternal. So now, child of God, release every lingering burden. Let the words of the psalm settle into your heart like a lullaby. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Rest, for you are already home.